It was a big learning curve, but I found out actually asking stupid questions.
Why is it important for documentation team to define different page content types instead of treating all contents the same?
So defining content types will help a user find and then work through what they've come for, like what their purpose is. It makes it very clear for them.
With the rise of AI-driven authoring and structured content, how do you see page content types evolving?
And style guides and templates are sort of the blueprints to do that.
What role does style guides and templates play in making sure your contents are consistent?
With the evolution with AI is that we can make documentation.
Welcome to the Knowledge Base Ninjas podcast, where Gauri Ramkumar of Document 360 finds the best SaaS self-service knowledge bases in the world and then interviews their creators. Let's get started with today's episode.
Good day, everyone. Welcome to Knowledge Base Ninjas podcast. And with me, I've got Betty Mann, Principal Technical Writer at Oracle. Hi, Betty. How are you doing today?
Doing really well. Very excited about being on this podcast. I've been listening to it and stuff. So thank you so much for having me.
Fantastic. So we are also excited to hear a lot about you. But before we dig deep dive into any further technical things, let me just understand how did you land up in technical writing and how is it going for you so far?
Amazing. So I guess I'll start at the beginning. So I did a computer science degree. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I think out of school and uni still, I was a bit like, there's so many options, there's so many opportunities. I don't know what I want to do. But one of my major points, I guess, was when I joined a startup and they gave me a lot of ownership. The startup, it's Chattermill, and they leverage customer feedback and then use AI to sort of uncover insights.
Mm-hmm.
So it was there where I sort of found out that I wanted to be a customer advocate and promote the customer experience. Mm-hmm. So there I ended up building a support team, which then again linked my love of communication with problem solving and all the different areas of technology. I still found that I was touching a bit of everything, which is exactly what I wanted. And then when I moved to a larger company, they actually suggested that I go on the flip side of the coin. So instead of post, so after someone has an issue and comes to support, why don't I look at the docs and like preempt it and think about the customer in that way and hopefully fill in gaps before they even get to them. It wasn't a route that I had initially thought of at all, but I really love it. You asked how it's going. I love talking daily with sort of the experts in their fields and putting myself in the user's shoes to try and make the docs as clear, as concise as they can be. It was quite hard at first, like not being the smartest in the room sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was a big
but you learn.
Exactly. It was a big learning curve, but I found out actually asking stupid questions, the customers will probably ask similar things as well if it's not clear. So it was quite good. What's it called? It just suits my way of thinking. I have a brain where I've got a lot of tabs open generally. So like having an SME and then also maybe an internal doc and a GitHub repo and like merging them all into one specific page with everything you need, it sort of works for me.
Fantastic. Yeah. I don't know if you listen to some of my podcasts already. A lot of them talk about when you start your career, you've got to be very open, ask questions, don't hesitate to ask. And I just remembered those advices. And then when you said that, I used to ask a lot of questions. So yeah, you've done the right thing. Yeah.
Exactly. It's about ego, I guess, not having an ego, which
it
was hard to start with. I was like, I should know this. Shouldn't I know this? But sometimes, I'm not the expert.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the one who's making it user facing. So yeah.
Nice. Fantastic. Now, I think you'll be the best person to answer this question for me as well now. Why is it important for documentation team to define different page content types instead of treating all contents the same, like you mentioned, based on the audiences and also the company size, you had to learn a lot and unlearn a lot of things, right? So why is
Mhm.
it so important?
So I think, yeah, if you treat everything the same, it becomes super hard to sort of navigate. Like I liken it to like, you've got that drawer which has like plugs and batteries and manuals, and it's just sort of like a miscellaneous drawer. And it's probably got exactly what you need for this situation, but you can't find it. You don't know where you're looking. It's just a drawer of mess in a way. So
Mm-hmm.
defining content types will help a user find and then work through what they've come for, like what their purpose is. It makes it very clear for them. And I feel like even in a team, so not just for the user, but even in your team, like the docs team or the product team, it creates a lot of efficiency. So it makes your docs easier to maintain at scale. You can avoid duplication if you've got like certain pages dedicated to certain things. You can have, like, if you're asking an SME to review your document, they could do it faster if they know exactly what the document purpose is.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I guess having a framework sort of lets you focus on the actual content each time. So instead of wondering how you're going to word it or put it, or like if you've got some sort of template,
Yeah.
you can actually focus on the content more.
Great. So I think you kind of partially answered my next question as well. How do you go about standardizing your page content types in the documents?
Nice. Yeah. So I think when I started doing this, I sort of looked at the sort of users who would use it. What sort of user journey would they go through? I guess someone like a solution architect would just want to see maybe the key features or like the benefits, or maybe even a quick get started guide to know it's possible. Whereas an engineer who's actually coding it might go deeper into the documentation. So yeah, I tried to think of all the different questions that user would have at all the different stages and sort of map them to the different content types. I ended up using Diataxis, which has, I think, four main. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what I live by now. So hopefully, so yeah, you sort of got the question. I want to know what this does, and that would be an overview. I want to understand what it does, which is like, or how it does what it does, concept. I want to do it, would be a how-to guide. I want to do it quickly and with the happy path, I get started. And then like I want the building blocks would be more of an API reference. Yeah, initially I had trouble. One of the jobs I had previously where I was implementing this, the doc site wasn't public yet. So it was hard to sort of iterate on that and know that this was the correct way of doing it. But I ended up linking in product engineers, just asking as many people as possible to get feedback on it. And they are the sort of users who would be using these sort of pages. So even within your team, having that sort of feedback loop is quite important. We also used hackathons and gave teams sort of use cases to go through the docs and make something or integrate with something.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of watched how they interact, because I guess depending on your experience, will you start at the get started or you go straight into the API reference because you know the general gist of it.
Yeah, understand. Great. Now, you mentioned about using templates or style guides with the teams to make sure the different types of contents are not rendered the same
Mhm.
to everybody, right? So, how do you think these are so important? What role does style guides and templates play in making sure your contents are consistent across the board or with the different teams?
Amazing question. Yeah. So yeah, their style guides and sort of templates are, I find, essential. A content type is only useful if it's applied sort of consistently, and style guides and templates are sort of the blueprints to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So style guides I use to sort of set the expectations like tone, terminology, rules in writing, like passive versus active, etc. One of my past experiences was I joined a company and they had three names for the same concept. So one was more internal, one was more external, and then one, I guess, competitors and other people in the industry were using a different term.
Mm-hmm.
And this was my first job in that sort of industry, and I thought they were all three different things for a good while. And if I think that, and I'm on the team, like surely a user would think that as well. So to make
Mm-hmm.
it consistent is so important. And then I think templates give writers and potentially devs as well. Like if you've got a small team, developers will do the first draft, developers will write documentation quite a lot of the time. And it would give them a practical sort of framework for each type of page, so they can sort of fill in the missing gaps and stuff, and hopefully have the same flow as what a technical writer would have. So yeah, it sort of means that when a reader moves between docs, it feels sort of seamless, predictable sometimes, and easy to
Yeah.
comprehend.
Yeah, that's very true. I think predictability is one thing that a lot of people would like to see in their contents, right? So there are no surprise elements in different pages when they read. Yeah, absolutely. So Betty, I can't stop asking this question to almost everybody whom I have as the guest in my podcast. So with the rise of AI-driven authoring and structured content, how do you see page content types evolving?
No, fair enough. I knew AI was coming, so it's on the tip of our tongue. So yeah, I find AI, like using AI tools at the moment, I find they're great at generating text, but without the clear structures that I've been talking about before, the output can be unfocused or inconsistent. So I think content types are quite crucial to that. My boss actually said that he's been using an LLM just to sort of like see, how it does doing technical writing, and it seems like like an intern, like a really enthusiastic intern. So it sort of tries to bridge the gaps and sort of makes things up to make things work, whereas like we said before, asking those stupid questions and like being a human person sort of helps in gaining clarity. But yeah, I think you said oh, the evolution
Yeah,
of it. I think
AI.
what I'm quite excited about with the evolution with AI is that we can make documentation, but then AI could maybe personalize it for each person's experience.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe having dynamic pages with like examples which are very relevant to each use case and things like that. I feel like the content types would still be the building blocks of that, and they can be like maybe sliced up or split up, and then like on a page, maybe it's a concept, an action, another concept, an action sort of thing. But it would be good to sort of give it to the user when they need it, like maybe anticipate it. Yeah, so basically, I think like chatbots and things do that as well. Like AI takes things and just sort of maybe rewords it more for your use case. But yeah, we're like, I guess from the hackathon that I mentioned earlier as well, we also saw the experience of the user changing depending on their experience of the technology or whatever. So a beginner could maybe use some concepts and to get started, whereas an engineer would have like, here is your bespoke API call or something, as an example.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Great. I think we are now to the rapid fire round questions. Thank you for answering all my other, the first half. It was really, you did go deeper in as well. So let me just move to the rapid fire round. Any documentation related resources that you would like to highlight that you thought was fantastic and helped you in your journey?
So veil linting, I've loved. So shout out to Veil, but basically I've been using that to sort of implement a style guide. So after you've done all the rules, it's very easy to say do this, but will anyone read it or will anyone know it's there?
Yeah.
So linking that up with GitHub or something so that when someone does do a pull request, it will actively be like, suggestion, use active voice, suggestion, don't use we, or use you, the
Yeah.
user's doing it. So I've been sort of setting that up, and it's very, what's it called? You can make it very bespoke. So for your own style guide, like you can also, I think you can take like Microsoft Style Guide, which I think quite a lot of people base their style guides off of sometimes. But you can make your own rules. So, if you don't want to use a certain word, you can tell it to not use, and then developers also, it sort of doesn't block them. They can iterate on their things if they are writing a first draft with these in mind. So it's sort of, it sort of frees up a tech writer's time from like spelling and grammar potentially.
Nice. Great. Now, one word that comes to your mind when you hear documentation?
Instructions.
Okay.
I guess. I don't know if that's the correct word.
Yeah, I mean, anything that comes to your mind, that's it.
I think maybe it's depending on what I've been working on step-by-step guides. So yeah, to me, I'm like, it's instructions. It's like the
Instruction.
Lego, like the little manual you get with the Lego.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. One piece of advice that you would give to your 20-year-old self.
I think that's a very good question. I've not thought about that. I think, yeah, I guess I was worried when I was 20 again, like I wanted to do a bit of everything. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I guess my advice would be that there are jobs where that is beneficial. Like
Mhm.
there are jobs where you can context switch all day, hyper focus on something sometimes, talk to loads of smart people and have a little bit of everything. So I guess it worked out, but yeah, don't settle for, a job which doesn't give you that.
Yeah. Very nice. Fair enough. Okay. I think you'll be very pleased to know that we've come to the end of the podcast, Betty. So it was amazing to know where you started and how you got into different opportunities and where you are now. It's amazing to know. All the very best for your current projects, whatever you're building. I hope it all goes well and for your future engagements too. So,
Thank you
anything
so
else you would like to add?
Just thank you so much for this experience. It's amazing. Thank you so much, Gary.
Thank you, Betty, for sharing your experiences as well. Have a great day.
Thanks.
Thanks for listening to today's episode of the Knowledge Base Ninjas podcast. Please head to iTunes, rate, and provide honest feedback on the podcast. See you next week.